Hello everybody, welcome back to the penultimate PE lesson online learning that we are doing. It is of course me, Mr. Townell. I hope you are all doing well and keeping safe, entertained and busy. So I know you've all been desperate to learn some more PE, so without further ado, let's crack on. So what we're going to do this week, we're going to kind of look at combining what we learned over the past 2 weeks, which was the components of fitness. And we're going to look at how can you test these? How can I tell how good I am? So what we're going to do today, we're going to go through each of these components of fitness that we've got on the screen right now. I'm going to tell you how you can test it, and I'm going to give you some average scores so you can see how well you compete to the rest of the country. So I'm not going to list them all, you can read them there. These are the components of fitness we are going to do. And let's get right in about it. So the first one is cardiovascular endurance. So the way we test this is for what's called a 12-minute Cooper run. What you will have a course marked out, and simply you will run for 12 minutes. Then, as you can see, that hope that's big enough. Please feel free to pause so you can read the scores there. You will have to measure how far you've ran, and then as you can see, you've got some scores. You've got excellent, above average, average, below average, and a poor. Okay, so wherever you fall in the brackets there, that is where you stack up against the rest of the country. We've got different ones for males and females. Males at the top, females at the bottom, because biologically, males on average, is not going to be the case for everyone. Males do tend to have a better cardiovascular endurance. However, many things can affect this training, your own genes, so please take that with a pinch of salt. Okay, just because you're a female doesn't mean that you're going to be automatically worse. It's going to be from case to case. And for most part, I found girls are slightly a bit better. Moving on, next one, muscular endurance. So that is the repetitive movement of our muscles. Simple one for this, 1 minute sit-up test. So you'll record yourself doing sit-ups for 1 minute. You'll see how many you can do. Again, we've got the scores there for male and female. Excellent through to poor. Again, females tend to be a bit not as good as males for this. I'm just going to say this now for every single one. This is done on average. So, on average, males tend to do a bit better. Okay? But do not take that as, oh, I'm worse. It's just, from my experience, girls can do better. And they probably will. Anyway, muscular endurance, yeah. So sit-ups. You can also do press-ups as well. That doesn't equate for this table. If you do want to go online, there's loads and loads and loads of different formative data assessments, so you can look at different averages for press-ups, and even probably more up-to-date ones for sit-ups as well. Moving on, the hand grip dynamometer. Massive mouthful, I hate saying that word. Some of you may have seen this before, so you'll have that bit of equipment there. And what you do is you'll see you've got that your hand gripping it, and you'll bring it down from above your head to your waist, gripping as hard as you possibly can, and then it will tell you your score. What I've got here is your score in kilograms, because that was the first one that popped up. But depending on which one you use, it might come in pounds as well, so you'll have to research that. I'm going to go out on a limb and say most people haven't got a grip dynamometer machine at home, so that's probably not possible for you to do. But when you come into school next, as of next year, we probably will be doing fitness testing with this at some point, so you can see how strong your arms are. Moving on, flexibility. Some of you may have seen this. This is called a sit and reach test. So we'll have a sit and reach box here. You'll have your feet planted against the bottom of it. You need to keep your knees straight. And then what you do is you try and lean over, and you will push either a ruler, or if really fancy, we've got a special box. It's got a little mechanism that will move up with your hands. And what you'll see on the top of the box there is going to be some measurements, and then you can see how good your flexibility is. A different one this time. Females tend to do a bit better on flexibility. So again, take that with a pinch of salt. But again, probably not something you'll be able to do at home, unless for some reason you've got a sit and reach box lying about in your attic upstairs. Have a check. See, you might have. Next one, speed. We all know what speed is. Simply a 30-metre sprint test. So measure out 30 metres. I'm going to say most people don't have that in the garden. Go to the local field or somewhere where there's a bit of open space and try this out. So males, quite fast, below 4 seconds is excellent. yeah, quite simple. Sprint from one end to the other, stopwatch, calculate how much done, take it over an average of 3, and then you'll have your results from excellent down to poor. Moving on, so power. So this one, what you'll need is you'll need a wall, measuring tape, and a bit of chalk. So what you'll do is you'll stand next to the wall as close as you can, in with either hand. It's up to you. Stand side on, put your arm all the way up in the air, and just draw on the wall with a bit of chalk as high as you can go. What you'll then do is you'll stand next to it in the same position. You will jump up, just standing still, and you'll try and not draw on the wall as high as you can with the jump, and you will measure the distance between the 2 chalk lines. Okay, as we see there, we've got the scores again from excellent down to poor. So 65 centimeters and upwards is an excellent score. But just remember, it's not from the height down to the floor, it's the distance between the 2 chalk lines. Next one, agility. So this is what's called an Illinois agility test by a bloke called Illinois. What you will do is you will start lying down on your stomach next to the starting line with your hands by your sides. Someone will then, or probably someone else, will start a timer. You must get up, you must run straight to the cone in front of you, run back, then you must go in and out of the cones there and back up to the top cone and sprint through to the finish. Okay, but it is important that you start off by laying down on the floor. Okay, that is part of the agility test. And as you can see there, you've got the normative data as well for the national averages. Balance, this is what's called a standing stalk test. So what you must do, as you see you've got a little diagram there, you must stand with 1 foot on the floor. You must go on your tiptoes to make it just that tiny bit harder. You must have your other foot on the side of your knee attached there. It can't just be dangling in the air. And then you must have your hands on your hips. Once you are in that position, you can start a timer and you can see how long you can go for. And as again, we've got the average scores, which is quite a bit shocking, the disparity between the two. 50 seconds for males and 20 seconds for females. Come on, girls, I'm sure we can smash that record out. Moving on to the ruler drop. Very simple. All you need is a ruler. Okay, you need someone else. Didn't mention that bit. So what someone will do is they will stand there holding a ruler. You must put your fingertips, your thumb and your index finger, pointer finger, at the bottom of the ruler, just underneath. They will then drop the ruler without any prior warning or indication, and then you must grab it as quickly as possible. So as you can see there, we've got the centimetres this time. So if you grab it within the first 7.5 centimetres, you are excellent. If you grab it after 28 centimetres, chances are you probably won't catch it. So there you go. Quite dead simple, quite an easy one to do. Next one, coordination. So this one, you must stand 2 metres away from a flat wall. Okay, it's important that it's 2 metres. What you need is a tennis ball. You will start with it, let's say in your left hand. You will throw it to the wall, catch it with your right hand, throw it back to the wall, catch it with your left. And you will do that for 1 minute. Okay? As you see there, we've got 35 throws and catches, which I think is fairly easy. I think most of you can beat that. But that is for 15, 16 years. So you've got a couple of years if you're a bit short of the mark there to catch up. Finally, the task for this week. The first thing that you need to do is you need to ensure that you know 2 ways to make sure that the test is reliable. I've got them there at the bottom of the slide, so don't worry if you're a bit unsure. So the first thing we can do, we can make sure each test is done 3 times, and then we can take an average score. That means that if we've had an absolute stinker one time, okay, we can crawl it back a bit. And the other thing is to complete the test in the correct and stable conditions. The coordination test, for example, if the wall that we're throwing the ball against isn't smooth, okay, it's not going to be a very good reading because the ball can be going anywhere and it can ruin our score. Something as simple as that. What you need to do is you need to choose 3 tests, have a go at them and record your results. Then what I want you to do over the period of a week, so we'll take a working week, so we'll take 5 days, I want you to do every single test, so 3 tests a day, and then record your progress and see if there's any difference between the start of the week and the end of the week. Okay? And then when you come back, you can tell us how much you've improved. And when we come on to do fitness testing next year, okay, you can smash it out of the park. That is all for me this week, guys. Bit longer this week, but we've got a lot of content through. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you're all staying safe. And I shall see you next week. Goodbye.